it's Tommy and welcome back to my channel. Today we are building the mystery machine from Scooby Doo. So this week is actually going to be Scooby Doo on my channel. I'm just building a bunch of stuff from Scooby Doo. I'm doing some speed builds and I'm also doing some create sims. And I don't mean like the standard Scooby Doo create sim video because I've actually already done a Scooby Doo create sim and I've done a toddler's version of Scooby Doo. So if you'd like to see either of those, they're going to be linked at the end of this video and also in my description box down below. But I'm doing some different characters from Scooby Doo and I'm also building some like iconic locations. And one of the things that I wanted to attempt to build first was the mystery machine, because if you didn't see it a couple of weeks ago on my channel, I built the camper from the wild thornberries and it came out really nice, and it gave me the idea to attempt to do the mystery machine because the mystery machine is like a big van that they drive around. And I will be the very first person to say that I'm not sure how I feel about the way that this came out. It's not my favorite thing that I've ever built, for sure, and it was very challenging, and I think if this wasn't a two-part video, I wouldn't have posted this one. I probably would have scrapped the idea altogether, but I really wanted the mystery machine to be incorporated in this build. So the reason I'm building on such a large lot and I'm building off to the left is actually because this is going to be a two-part video where I build the spooky castle from the opening scenes of every Scooby-Doo episode. Like when the theme song comes on and the bats fly and they always show that creepy castle, I'm actually going to build that castle and it's going to go behind the mystery machine. So I wanted both of them to be in the build so that it was very recognizable, but it was too long of a build for me to put them all together into one, so I did end up splitting it into two parts. Like I said, I don't know how I feel about this mystery machine because it was just challenging all the way around. There were so many obstacles that I had to face, and at the end of the day, I just don't think I had the right content to take it to the level that I'm usually trying to aim for, but it was good enough where I was just like, I'm going to post it, I'm going to keep it, especially because when you go on the gallery and actually see as soon as I publicize it and make the lot available for download, it really looks good together, and I think it's a lot more recognizable when you have the castle behind it. But again, I don't really know. I had a lot of problems that I had to face. One of the biggest issues right off the bat was the fact that the mystery machine obviously has to be a van. So first of all, it has to be shaped like a van. Second of all, it has to be dual tone because the mystery machine is like this very psychedelic 60s and early 70s inspired van, and it's supposed to have like flowers all over it, and it's got this green melting into blue kind of pattern. So I did end up going with a green and blue ombre wallpaper for the bottom, and then I tried to use some of the different stickers that we have from Dine Out to give it the wavy kind of pattern. But the biggest problem came into place when I realized that we don't have any stickers that are shaped like flowers, which is really kind of weird to me, and I thought that we did, and I think that if I knew that we didn't before I started this build, I probably would have never even attempted it because you do need the flowers. I ended up using a wall item, a sculpture item that you can place on the wall, and it's definitely not my favorite, I'm going to be very honest, but it came out close enough where I was like, I'm not going to get rid of this. I'm going to put it out there. People will probably like it. And I like the interior. I like the way that I ended up designing the inside, especially because you're going to see in a few moments, and I will talk about it. I designed everything so that the inside looks a little bit like every character has their own little corner with their stuff in it, which I think is really fitting. Because if you think about like what they actually do, they travel from location to location to help solve mysteries, so they probably spend a lot of time in their van together, and they probably all have like a lot of clutter items and a lot of things that they've ended up bringing with them along the way on their different trips. Really, the secret to doing these kinds of builds, to doing like any kind of car or bus or van, is just using other objects to make them look like stuff that they're not. So using lights and then sizing them up to make them look like headlights, or using lights and sizing them up to make them look like tires. And one thing that this had on the front of it was some kind of a tire attached to the front or some kind of event, so I used another light there and sized it up. And fortunately for me, there is actually like a lot of seams on the mystery machine, meaning like there's cracks in it where you can see that the different panels are attached to the car. And so I tried to change the paint wherever there is a seam on the car. I don't know, I really thought about the detail with this because I was trying really hard to make it look like that. But again, it's just one of those things where it's like, you can't really build a car in The Sims, you can't really build a van, so you can only really make do with what you actually have available to you, especially because I don't use custom content anymore, and And I was very, very tempted to exit out of this build and restart it with some kind of a new package where I had some stuff where maybe like some stickers of flowers or just some weird wallpapers that would kind of change it. I really just don't want to use custom content in my builds anymore. I think it's really, really inconvenient for people who want to download. And I used to get a lot of comments that would ask me for custom content lists. I still get them from some of my older videos, and I don't have a lot of that custom content anymore. So it's almost impossible for me to track down like the stuff that I used to use, which is really frustrating for people who watch videos and want to be able to literally own exactly whatever it is that you're building in The Sims 4. And I know that. So rather than use custom content and maybe have it look a little bit closer to how it was supposed to look, I opted out for the style that I gave it in the video. And again, just let me know what you think about it. I would love your opinions down in the description box below. Actually, I want to talk about something really big that happened a couple of days ago. I hit 1,000 subscribers, and it is a really big deal to me. I cannot understate this enough. Like, I am so thankful to every single person who has taken the moment to watch any of my videos, and especially people who subscribe after watching one of my videos. It means the absolute world to me. It feels like when you are a YouTuber, especially in the beginning, they always say that the first couple of thousand or the first 100,000 are super difficult. And I'm not saying that like I have a goal of 100,000, because I always keep my goals very small so that when I get to there, I can reset the goal. And I think that's really important if you're ever trying to like accomplish something in life. Set your goals kind of smaller and then increase them over time. It's like a really big secret, I guess, that I always use. So I've had a goal of 1,000 for a really long time, and I cannot believe that I got there. I got there almost on the date of my 1-year YouTube birthday. I'm just grateful. Like, there's no other word to express how I feel about it other than just purely grateful and looking forward to the future and looking forward to what is to come, because I'm not giving up. Like, this is something that has slowly become a really big dream and a huge part of my life, and I cannot possibly like give up on it at this point, despite so many times when I've wanted to and so many times where people have made me feel like I should give up. I just want to say, like, I posted on Twitter, but I want to tell people who are watching this video, especially, like, no matter what your goals are, like, just don't give up on them, because if you keep trying, you will get there. I promise you. You're never going to get there if you stop trying. That's like all I can tell you. And I feel like people are so encouraged in modern society to not take risks and not go for the things that they really truly want. But at the end of the day, not to get like all mushy and like philosophical in a Scooby Doo mystery machine speed build video, but you only live once, and you really need to go for the things that you truly want. And this is something that I've really, really wanted, and I could not do it without people who watch especially consistently and people who are constantly supporting me. Thank you so, so much. And my next goal is 5,000. I know that's a big goal, but like, I think that it's possible. So I am going to be working towards 5,000 next. And I didn't do like a big 1,000 subscriber video. I wasn't sure what to do. A lot of people do Q&As. I wasn't really feeling it. I didn't know if anybody really wanted to ask me any questions. So let me know if there's something that you guys would like to see for a 1,000 subscriber video, or like, I don't know. I didn't plan anything because I just didn't feel like anybody really cared except for me, as sad as that sounds, but I don't know. Let me know what you think about the whole thing, and thank you guys so much. I do want to point out at the end of this build what I meant earlier when I said that I kind of designed each little area for different stuff for each character. So Daphne has like the corner where she has lots of clothes and makeup clutter items. I put a lot of bookshelves in there for Velma. I put obviously stuff in there for Scooby with like the different dog items and dog toys, and I put some jock style stuff like sports equipment in there for Fred. And then for Shaggy, I was just thinking to myself, all you really need is a grill. The biggest thing about Shaggy is that he's obviously like a huge foodie, so that's kind of what I was thinking with the interior. You can't actually access it just because I didn't add stairs, but I think when I do part 2 of this video, I'm going to be adding stairs to the back so that you could get up in there if you wanted to and just play around. But that's pretty much the end of my build. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you're excited for part 2. Again, thank you guys all so much for 1,000 subscribers. It means so much to me. And thank you guys all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell icon below to turn on post notifications so you can get updated every single time that I post, and I'll talk to you all in the next one.